Hello, so my name is Denise Juarez, and this is my presentation on participatory culture. So, what is it? Participatory culture is a culture in which everyone participates. People are able to become part of a community, and within these communities, they produce media to share ideas amongst themselves. Some big examples are YouTube, Reddit, and fan fiction sites. And YouTubers produce media because they want to share. An example would be like vlogging your experience in college or at an internship. At Reddit, people are able to comment or create a post within a forum, and then from there, people would share their opinions, comment back, and then with fan fiction sites, fan communities write stories because not because they want to get money or get into the industry, but because they love to tell stories and they want to share stories to each other. So where does it all begin? Participatory culture has been around longer than the internet. It actually began in the 19th century with the print press. At that time, young people were hand typing and printing their own publications. These publications were mailed through a network of people and now resemble what is now called the social networks. So Jenkins, which is this lovely man right over here, describes 5 characteristics of participatory culture, which are relatively low barriers for engagement, basically meaning that it's easy access for people, so they have like their phones, their tablets, their laptops. Number 2, strong support for sharing creations with others. Informal membership, which means it's like not structured. Members believe their contributions matter. And lastly is they care about others' opinions of self and work. So how to get involved in participatory culture? So affiliations include both formal and informal memberships in online communities such as discussion boards or social media. Expressions refers to the types of media that could be created. This may manifest as like memes, fan fiction, and other forms of mashups. When individuals and groups work together on a particular form of media or media product, then they engage in collaborative problem solving, like Wikipedia. And then with circulations, it's basically shaping the flow of media, like podcasting and blogging. So, and then what are affinity spaces? Affinity spaces offer powerful opportunities for learning because they are sustained by common endeavors that bridge differences like age, gender, race, class, and educational level because people can participate in various ways according to their skills and interests. In affinity spaces, people learn more, participate more actively, engage more deeply with popular culture than they do with the context of their textbook. And what are some of the benefits? So basically, young people who create and circulate their own media are more likely to respect intellectual property rights of others, so like less copyright and plagiarism. We move away from a world in which some produce and many consume toward one in which everyone has a more active stake in culture that is produced. And then lastly, we learn from one another, so like peer-to-peer learning. And I'm going to go right over here and talk about friendship-driven participation, which is hanging out with friends online, and then messing around and geeking out, which are small interest-driven orientations. And then right over here, we're talking about friendship-driven participation, which is hanging out with friends online, and then messing around and geeking out, which are more small interest-driven orientations. So why is it important to support our children and students? Kids aren't really welcoming of adult intervention in the friendship-driven space, so parents ask if they should friend their teenager on Facebook, and we currently don't have awareness about how we support kids' engagement in the more messing around and geeking out space. This space has the opportunity to foster kids' intellectual development, civic engagement, personal development, and we haven't really worked as parents or educators to proactively engage kids. In the adult world, there was a general perception that when kids are in front of the screen, they're messing around with their computer, that it's a waste of time and is taken away from more productive or healthy activities. But kids ascribed much more value to those activities. So my thoughts and reactions. So the Beck and Wade study talked about how gamers were more open to taking risks and engaging in competition, but were also open to collaborating with others and willing to revise early assumptions. I was just really surprised by this because I really thought gamers were antisocial. Mimi was saying how parents and teachers assume that child spends too much time on the computer and phone is unhealthy. I have heard this before, which I really didn't find it surprising, but I was surprised that she touched on it. Jenkins mentioned that many schools are treating collaboration as cheating. I did get in trouble one time in high school when I was hanging out with my friends and I was asking them questions about my homework and they thought it was cheating, which I really wasn't. And then, do I support participatory culture? Duh, yeah. Because I think that it shapes the future, it helps discover your identity, and it is not a distraction, as my parents would say.